Now, we've talked a lot about persuasive writing, from drafting and choosing topic and find evidence. So today we'll be moving on to the next step, revision. Now, the third phase of the persuasive writing process is revision. For this step, you need to go back over your writing to address any mistakes are being made. It is important to understand the difference between revision and editing. While both of them are focus on improving your writing, revision involves improving the quality and clarity of our idea. Editing, on the other hand, target error in spelling, grammar, punctuation, and other more technical aspects of our writing. So a lot of people can mistake revising with editing. I used to be that person. I used to mistake it for. I thought it was the same part, but it's actually different. Revision are like, improving the quality and the clarity in our idea. But editing, on the other hand, is they target in finding errors in grammar and spelling and punctuation. But revision actually are quite different. They just improve the quality of our idea, of how we draft down our idea. Okay. So at this point, we need to ask ourselves some key questions that are specific to revising a piece of persuasive writing. For example, do reader learn about issue and my position on it right away in the paper? Well, this question are asking about the thesis. Should it be clearly and directly stated in the introduction of the paper? If it is missing or misplaced, this is a major target for revision. Second, does all my no. Wait a bit. Okay. Second, does all of my evidence support my main point? Well, when we write for an extended period of time, it can be easy to lose sight of what we were originally wanted to prove. If a piece of evidence does not support our main point, then we may need to either reword it or revise it out of paper entirely. So let's say we're talking about why we should plant more trees. And we should give evidence about that, but instead of giving evidence why we should plant more tree, we say because video game are very fun. It has nothing to support the main point, so we have to write it again, right? Okay, third, do I address the counter argument? Well, if we never acknowledge the opposing perspective to our own, then it can make our argument weaker. And we need to make sure that either in the introduction or in one of the early body paragraph, we have both stated and refuted, which are argued against the opposing view. Fourth, we have to ask ourselves, are any words vague or unclear? If any words that potentially confuse the reader, then we need to remove them from the paper right away. We want only the most powerful, most specific word possible to convince our reader of our position. And lastly, we need to ask ourselves, do reader know what I want them to do? Sometimes, even though we did an excellent job of stating our position and evidence about why our position is true, we tend to forget to tell our audience what they should do once they agree. If you want them to do more than just agree with you, make sure you tell it in your writing. Sometimes you may actually want them to contact authority figure who can help make change happen. depending on how well we address the quality issue in our writing, we may need to go through. Hold on. Don't need. We may need to go through the drafting and revision process several times. If we change the topic sentences, for example, then we need to go back, read through the entire paper, and make sure that the revision has effectively allowed us to do a better job of supporting our main idea. If not, or if fixing that error make a different error more apparent, then we would need to revise and draft again. Now, some people are afraid to make change. They have spent a lot of time drafting it down, and when they revise it, they see a lot of error, and they are afraid to make change because they're afraid that they might do it wrong again. But don't be afraid to make change. Good writer make a lot of change to the work before they finish revising. It's kind of like sharpening a pencil. So you need to take off anything to keep your message from being sharp and to the point to make it really effective. So don't be afraid to make change. If it is wrong and, we're not clearly, then you just have to revise it again and write it down. Just take a little change. It's not a big deal. So don't be afraid to make change. Well, thank you for coming and have a great day.